Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm finally continuing One Piece. We have volume 7 of the Omnibus edition. Super excited to continue, which is obviously volume 19, 20 and 21. Which is weird that I read already 21 volumes of One Piece while other series I've been in for like 100 years. I like barely reached over 10 or something. It's just weird reflection in my life. Either way, we're excited. We are in the middle of BAROQUE works. We are in the middle of the rebellion for the princess. You should see if they manage to, I was gonna say fix it here, but there might be, I think, another volume of like them being there and trying to fix it, etc. But yeah, we are starting off with volume 19, which is called Rebellion, with chapter, sorry, it's really hard to turn the pages apparently. Oh god, everything is flipping around. Chapter, hello, can you let me see the name? Chapter 167, Battlefront. So I guess I would just start and let you know what's going on. Okay, so Luffy, as we know, was tired of looking around for the rebellion, so he wanted the princess Vivi to show him like where the realms are, and she did, and they are now going, which will take them like a day to the desert. He's struggling, but he is very determined. Then we switch over to the king, Vivi's father, and he got a letter she sent him of what actually happened. The crocodile is that high and everything, and he's just having to march on the crocodile, while the crocodile is soon marching on the king. And also Luffy is soon like there with the crocodile as well. There's lots of different factions moving. So the king is going to march on the crocodile while the rebels are ready in to march on the king. So Luffy is also soon with the crocodile. So the palace will be left undefended, but the king says that the palace is just a palace. The people are what makes Alabasta. So it doesn't matter who loses the palace. Obviously, you know, the rebels are run by Vivi's childhood friend, but he doesn't know, obviously, that all the bad shit that's been happening in the kingdom is the crocodile's doing and not the king's doing. That's why there's a rebellion in the first place, because the crocodile, you know, made all his unrest so that he can eventually take over. So we are moving the pieces around. We are now at chapter 168, Rainbase, the City of Dreams. Okay, so Luffy and the crew arrives at the Rainbase, which is where the crocodile is. And they're just like, we're gonna be sneaky, and I'm like, we can't be sneaky, we're gonna be sneaky, Kevin lit side, and they go in. Luffy and Usopp is sent off to get some water, and then they meet Smoker, the dude from the Navy, and the girl. And they're like, ah, I don't have to run, and they're running around all the city. They get split up and they decide to meet at the palace where the crocodile lives. And everyone is there now except Chopper and Vivi, I think. I think everyone was there. And they are gonna enter, and then the crocodile is like, a word of there, and he's like, haha, please. So we shall see how this goes. Chapter 169, Kingdom's Strongest Warrior. Okay, so Luffy and them are in like the restaurant, and they are saying that they are on the way to the VIP room, and they're stupid and they run into this cage instead, which is made out of like this kind of, I was gonna say, stone that they find on the bottom of the sea, which makes people with devil fruit powers and 10 of them like useless. And Smoke was also in there with them, and then he uses his like sword and spear thing on Luffy, like his whole in near him. Luffy gets weak because he's in the sea, but like he's in solid form. So it's like the kryptonite, as we know that the sea is kind of like the kryptonite, but now they have sea in solid form, not just the actual sea, which is interesting. And the crocodile is looking at them and it's like, ha 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 ha. And then Luffy's like, fight me, ha. And then Vivi is almost being caught, but is saved by like the flying, I was gonna say, dude, the flying devil fruit man. But I thought that first that was the bird that sent the letter, but this is another man that is apparently, I think, one of the father's soldiers. I'm not actually sure. But he has a devil fruit where he can actually fly, which is cool. And now they're in jail, and Vivi is free. I don't know which Hopper is, but assuming he will come to save the day. Now we have chapter 170 beginning. Okay, so the warrior did try to save Vivi, but he couldn't. Again, his fiance who took Vivi to the others in the cage. The people in the cage are like they trying to, I was gonna say, rival the crocodile, and he's like, ha ha ha. And he says that not, he's a spirited young lady. Ew. But either way, Vivi comes in and it's like attacks crocodile, and she like chops off his head, but he has eaten, of course, a sand fruit, so he turns into sand, and it's like holding Vivi now, and it's scary. And they're like, don't touch her. And it's scary. I just realized that Sanji is not in the cage either, I think. I think it is just Usopp, Smoker, Zoro, Nami, and Luffy. So Sanji and Chopper will save the day, right? Yeah, that's the good thing that there are so many now. Chapter 171, Koza, leader of the rebels. Because they also said it's like 5 o'clock, so now they're gonna go out and like start the operation. So let's hope it all works out. I'm a bit confused, but we had kind of some flashback where the father's Koza told him to believe in the king, and he was like, in the future, he was charmed the king was stealing the rain, and now he like the king arrived with the cousin in another place, and he's just like, oh, it's my fault, I stole the rain. He's like, what do you mean? Don't admit to this. The whole reason we rebelled was for you to prove your innocence or something. So they all like believed in him, and people died believing in him. And it's like, if you say you're like guilty now, you betray all the people who died believing in you. And he's like, me. And now, and then he hit him, and then a big ship crashed into the town. I'm a bit confused. But I'm sure it will make sense in chapter 172, Rebellion. Okay, so apparently when the king came and said he was guilty, that was like the one who can like, what's it called? Change form. So it wasn't him, which is why I was a bit confused. I was like, what? But then like that enraged the rebels so much that they now are attacking, and like the king is always defending themselves. So like, but we don't know where the actual king is. They're gonna shoot each other. And I guess the whole time I had forgotten that the king was not actually the king, which is why he was acting like so weird. Because he was like one of the numbers, one of the days, because she is a woman and they are the name of the day. I just forgot that the king was an imposter the whole time. Crocodile drops like the key to the cage down in like what's it called, a water for crocodiles. So you just see if Vivi wants to go down and get it, or if she will try to get outside to like save the city, because there will be a full slaughter now between the rebels and Nakazami, which is bad. But yeah, things are starting. Things are scary. Chapter 173, Bananagator. Maybe the alligators likes banana? Hello, so I just read Bananagator. And the villains are like leaving the heroes to die and laughing evilly. But they haven't actually left the room yet, I think. And then the Bananagator ate one of the keys. And then Vivi can't go down and get it. She's scared because those gators are really known to be, what's to say, like brutal, and like they eat everything. So she doesn't want to be eaten. Oh, it wouldn't exactly help them for her to get eaten. Mr. Crocodile also admits that Yuba has been like in the middle of the city, like the one I met earlier that was digging for water. He's been making sure that the sandstorms has been coming there over and over, so that he would just keep digging and digging, and they all like, oh my god, that is evil, which it is. And he's like, ha ha ha, and they hate him in a bit more. And now the whole room is flooding with water. He doesn't need it anymore, so he's flooding the whole place. And obviously then they will all drown. But then a phone calls, or a snail phone as we like to call them, and Mr. Crocodile answers, I think. And then it's like, this is restaurant La Crap. And now I don't remember if that's the restaurant that Sanji used to work at. Was that the name of his restaurant? Maybe. I'm not sure. Or if it's another restaurant. They have been in several eating places. Basically, they're leaving everyone to drown. Now it's chapter 174, Mr. Prince. So Sanji just called saying he was from the restaurant. But then he's like, I'm Mr. Prince, I'm standing outside, ha ha ha. And they're like, oh! Like, why is he just saying where he is? And the evil dude goes outside, and then he's not there, and he's gonna run after him, leading him on a wild goose chase, as it is called. And meanwhile, Sanji shows up with the others and is like, hey, I'm here. I think maybe Chopper was one running, I'm not unsure. Also, right before that, Vivi tried to help Luffy and the others, and then Mr. Crocodile used his like sand powers to like stop her and choke her kinda. But then she ran out to get more help because she didn't like get unconscious. The others are still in the cage. But next chapter 175 is called Release. So I think that they will get out now soon, I think. Okay, so Sanji shows up with Vivi and kicks the alligator. This is right before Luffy and like the others were talking, trying to make like the alligator like eat the like bars on the cage. Didn't work. And then the smoker dude, is that his name, was like, if you don't stop them, it's like the fate of the world at stake. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Also, Smoker looks a lot like So, just saying. Sanji still as a sad and he's like, ha ha ha, Nami, do you love me now? And they're like, oh my god, what an idiot. And we see Mr. Crocodile walk, and it's like, even though they even get the key, it's not the right key, so they're not gonna get out. I have the real key here. Mwahaha. There's a lot of mwahaha in this guy. So he gets there, but the cage is empty and they're out. So, was it the right key after all? I'm not sure. At least the door is open. Sanjay came and saved the day, and we're really happy. He could use his little leg to kick a really, really, really big crocodile. Really nice. Chapter 176 is called Rush. Okay, so we get a flashback of how they escaped. So we have one of the crocodiles had Mr. Tree inside of him. And Mr. Tree had like the wax power, so he made a key out of wax and released them, and then they all like fell out kind of in like the waterfall thingy. Usopp was about to drown, but they saved him, Luffy of course, and then also Smoker. But Luffy had told Zoro to save Smoker, and then Smoker was like, why did you save me? And Zoro was like, well, I would have let you drown, but Captain's orders. And then he let him go, and he's like, I'm tired, blah 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 blah, because he said he would let him go this one time. Guess they just slowly win everyone they meet over, just because they're so good people, I think. Then he's making all reinforcements come to Alabasta because they need it. But I was thinking a bit like in the first few volumes, we used all that time having that map to the Grand Line. And we got that map, and now we're in the Grand Line. But there's loads of people in the Grand Line, like a whole like, you know, Marine Corps is there, lots of different pirates, lots of different people. So like, is it not then common knowledge where the like Grand Line is, or is it so hard to get there because like it's just a hard place to get into that you need a map to initially get there in the first place? It's just interesting because in my head it seemed really hard to get there, but then there's lots of stuff here and lots of people here. So I don't know, I assumed there will be less people, kinda. I don't know how to explain it, but that was just my assumption in my head from like what we got when we talked about the Grand Line. Or maybe it's just the fact that we use a really long time to actually get there that I thought that it would be hard to get there. It might just be that our main characters are idiots. Still really good idiots though. But yeah, we're done with volume 19 and we're going into volume 20. Right before like the volume ended, we had Vivi being taken by this hook, which I assume is this dude. And then Luffy is like, I will help her, I think. So this is Showdown at Alubarna. I think I called it Alabasta all this time, but it's fine. We are on chapter 177, 30 million versus 81 million. So that's Luffy against someone else, maybe? Yeah, maybe. We shall see. Okay, so the crocodiles try to stop Vivi from going, but Luffy like kind of was concerned to switch out around the places, so he fell off like the big... Did I say that Chopper came with a big crab that they were riding on? I didn't say that. But he came with a big crab they're riding on to get to like the city where everything is happening, because they were obviously in the wrong city, which is called Alubarna. And then Luffy is now fighting Mr. Crocodile. Like, it's his time to fight. And he's like using all his abilities against him, because the others were like, well, we will go on to save like the city and Vivi needs to go there. And he's like, I got this, guys, leave, you know? And he's using all his different like abilities, and he can't really hit Mr. Crocodile because he's made of sand, so he just turns into sand every time he tries to hit him. And he's trying to talk, and then he's being like, this is no point, blah 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 blah. And then he just like keep attacking. And Luffy's like, are you trying to say something? And then the chapter ended. So yeah, I mean, he's not really beating him, like, because he's not hitting him. But Luffy would never give up, so I'm curious to see how this will be solved. We have chapter 178, Grand Line level. Okay, so they're still fighting. Luffy's not doing that well. All his attacks are not working, and then Mr. Crocodile's like, well, what if I make this storm go after Yuba? Because Luffy drank Yuba's water, because like Mr. Crocodile like sucked all the moisture out of his arms, so it became like really shrivelly and gross. And then he drank his water and felt better and mentioned Yuba, and now he's sending a sandstorm after him. And then Luffy kind of throws like a little bit of a tantrum and is like, stop it, don't do it. And then Mr. Crocodile literally takes him on his hook, like he stabs him. There was blood like lifting his body up on his hook on his arm, and is like, who do you think you're ordering around? And I'm like, apparently you. This is sad, but we need a little like slowdown to get up again, you know. That's important. Chapter 179, Showdown at Alubarna. I don't like the showdown though. It's a bit stressful and sad. So Luffy lost that fight. He would burn under the sand. I think Mr. Crocodile left them there. And then we see Yuba finally reaching water in his little village. And I really hope that Sandstorm doesn't come and ruin it, because he reached water and seems so happy. We also have the others on the riding on the crab, and we see Zoro being a bit stressed, and they're like, you're worried that Luffy might lose, and he's like, no, I'm not. I think all worry about Luffy, but they do believe in him, so that's all that matters. So they are now riding that crab, and then we move over to like the king and his army ready to defend the city, and that everything soon will collide. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And then all the way in the chapter we see Luffy racing from the sand. I was gonna say race from this grave, but that's a bit different. So he's alive! Shocker. Yeah, he can just survive about anything, I think. Now we have chapter 180, Alabasta Animal Land. Okay, I'm a bit confused of what happened here, because this is that Luffy got help getting out of the sand from long weird hands. Is it his hands? And then that lady was there, I think Mrs. something, one of the ladies that worked for Mr. Crocodile, and she talked to him, and she didn't attack him or anything. She seems to... Did she want to help him? She also asked him why does he fight as one of the people with a name, with D in his name, you know, because he's Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know. And she, I think, fought off on a crocodile. Or was that crocodile for Luffy? I don't understand. There was also this other dude there that helped Vivi. He was just suddenly there. This one, I don't know who this is. Again, I got a bit confused for all these characters. Can I see the overview in the beginning? It was really hard to find. Let's see. Yeah, Miss All Sunday is the one who just came and was like, hey. And I'm like, okay, why are you helping? I can't find the other dude. Pal? I think he's Pal. Isn't it him? That dude there? Pal? He showed up and it was like, hey. And I was like, okay. And then the others, sorry on the gang, I ran on a crab, and he came to like a place where you have to cross a river. Crabs don't like rivers here because they are sand crabs, but Nami made the crab fall in love with her again, and then they went into the water, but the crab sunk because, well, couldn't swim. But then this fish showed up that liked Luffy, and I can sit on this fish to go over. I hope they can make it in time. I think it said it was 1 hour until they need to get there, and there's this small birds that is also gonna help them together with Karoo. That's what they got going for them. They are still on the way. I'm not completely sure what happened exactly with Luffy, but we will find out. Chapter 181, Supersonic Duck Quiz. So this one, different numbers and days were waiting on the top of this cliff for Vivi to arrive to the city to kill her, but then they show up with these different birds in identical capes. So they don't know which one she is, so they try to attack them, but like can't stop them because they're super fast. And then they're just like, okay, we will meet them at the gate, but they all go to different places, and then they take off the cape, and it's all of them except Vivi, because she didn't actually ride in there. She is somewhere else. They let them away, and now she's gonna actually ride where she was supposed to go to try to stop like the two armies from attacking each other, because by then it would be too late, because you know then a lot of people would have died. So yeah, they were a distraction to help her, and I guess they resume now a fight with like the different like days and numbers. I don't know actually who's who, but I guess they will fight them now. I assume. I don't know. Chapter 182, Roar. Who's gonna roar? Me? Okay, so Vivi is standing in the middle of the armor and she's like, stop, listen to me, don't do this. And then they just trample her, like they can't hear her or see her, which is really unfortunate. And then the battle is kind of starting, I think. They at least like marching on the city. And then at the same time, Usopp suddenly shows up and it's like, Vivi, come with me. And she's like, how do I know you're Usopp? And he's like, look, I have this band on my arm. And then she's like, oh, it's not him. And then she attacks him. And I'm like, so maybe they just tricked them by saying they had that band on, but they don't. I'm unsure. The others ran off like with Zoro on them. So I don't think they're fighting them after all, because they need to stop Vivi. But Vivi didn't manage to stop it. But she said she learned something on that ship is to never give up. So I love to hear that. But yeah, 183 is Squadron leader Karoo. Karoo also protected Vivi when they were almost being trampled, so he's hurt. Sad. Very sad. Okay, so Vivi is almost being attacked by one of the number dudes, and then Karoo carries her up on this like cliff thing, but he managed to follow them, and then Karoo is very hurt. He gets shot, and like she's like falling down. I was gonna say falling down, not like down from the cliff, but down on the ground. And then these two other birds shows up and protects Karoo on her, and Sanji's with them, and he's like, Vivi, I got this. You go and do your thing. And then the people attacking them are like, who are you? And it's like, I'm a cook. Because they thought he was Prince. And then he's like, no, I'm a cook. And they're like, ha, we'll beat you. And it's like, sure, you try. Oh, Sanji, my love. And then we also have Chopper and Usopp in the middle of the desert being attacked by something under the sand. And then that scene ended. But yeah, very dramatic stuff happening all around. Chapter 184, Moletown, Block 4. Whatever that is. Because Usopp and Chopper are fighting Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas. And they also have a lasso, which is a gun. A gum fruit is also a dog gun now. And they are fighting and they're throwing like balls at them and bombs at them that goes off after time. And then Usopp first wants to run away, but then he starts to use these underground tunnels they use and comes out with a huge armor that he hits someone with. And they're like, where did you find the strength to do that? I don't know, but he was really badass. And everyone's like, wow. And Chopper's like, wow. And yeah, they had like a little talk as well. And like, they're fighting now. And he's like, I'm Captain Usopp. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Love it. Love it. They have their own little fights. Chapter 185 is, oh, is that so? Who knows? Okay, so apparently Usopp just tricked them. He didn't actually have like a huge big hammer that was heavy. It was just fake. And they all like popped out from these holes, right? So I used the hammer to try to take them, you know, the game, but he didn't get to. And they all like, oh, why do you trick us? And then now he's running around and being chased. And then Chopper's like, I get the weakness now. And we're like, what? And then everything explodes because Chopper threw a little bomb thingy. And he said the weakness is that all these tunnels are connected. So that means that if you explode one, I assume the fire would spread in the others as well. And then a big explosion is in the end after some running. So yeah, they're doing well. Now we have chapter 186, which is just called 4. So I assume we're gonna fight to the end with Mr. 4. And they had now won their little battle at Alubarna's southeast gate. They just flew around and were really cool. It looked like Usopp was supposed to die because he got hit really hard on the face and it's like looks super hurt. But then he's still alive. But a sad part is that they said that they had killed Luffy and they were like, what? No, he's not dead. So they didn't really believe them actually. But in theory, they do think that Luffy is dead. And not Usopp and them, but the others. So we should see when he shows up last moment. But yeah, that was that little battle. Seems like that is over. This volume is also over. Now we have volume 21, which is called Utopia. That seems like a bad sign, because that's not what we want. First chapter is called Stalemate. So let's see. Okay, so first we have Vivi arriving like at the palace, and then they let her in because she says who she is, and she suggests that they just blow up the whole palace because then like they can't go in and take over the palace. I assume that's her suggestion. They're like, you sure this is, I don't know, but she says that's a good plan. That's how the chapter ended. In between that we had Sanji fighting Mr. one of them. I don't remember which one. Mr. 2 Bon Clay. Is that the whole name, I think? And he's fighting and kicking, and then he's basically changing his face and says that Sanji is shallow, even though Sanji's like, it's about heart, but gets a heart eyes when he changes into someone pretty. But yeah, they are fighting, having a good time. Now it's chapter 188. Oh, come my way, karate. I never know how to say that name in English. Name word, I mean. Let's go. Okay, so they are fighting, and every time like he wants to stop Sanji for attacking him, he turns into Nami because then Nami can't attack him. But he says that he noticed a flaw in that is that every time he's Nami, he can't use his like oh so karate move. And then they're like fighting and kicking and etc. That's basically what's happening. So this is like the shapeshifter. We also have them saying in the beginning that they will try to follow Vivi's orders about the palace, but we shall see. Now we have chapter 199, which is 2. So we had another one, the one was called 4, right? So now we're just beating them one by one, hopefully. Okay, so we have Vivi talking about what to do. They're ready to say that she become very beautiful when she was been gone, and that they will celebrate when all of this is over. Then Mr. Crocodile shows up, pushes one of the dudes, I think, down like a thing where they were standing on a balcony, and they're like, oh, he's here. So yeah, he doesn't want them to ruin his palace. And then we switch over to Zoro and Nami. And Nami has been chased away from Zoro because they want to kill the weakest link first. And Zoro's like, oh, where is she? And they are fighting 2 of the others at another place, which is Mr. 1 and Miss Double Finger. They're in the North Block, while Sanji was with South Block. So yeah. Now it's chapter 190, Climate Baton. So, Sora is gonna fight the dude who is apparently whole body is made of sword. So it's like to cut him with like taking out a sword. And then Nami disappears again and he's like, ugh, where is she? And she's fighting the lady. And the lady has like super powers as well. She has eaten the chop blades fruit, spike fruit, she has spikes. And then Nami has gotten a weapon from Usopp. She asked for a weapon because she didn't want to be useless in these fights. And then she's supposed to like have something that controls the weather. And then it just comes out some pigeons. She's supposed to have like a gun, but it just comes out some flowers. And she's like, how is this helpful? And that was the name of the chapter. That was the name of that weapon she got from Usopp. And then she's just annoyed. She doesn't know how, if this will work, but hopefully it will turn around. Chapter 191, she who controls the weather. Let's hope that's Nami with her weapon from Usopp. So that whole fight is basically Nami like trying to fight with like the new weapon that she doesn't really understand what it's doing because Usopp made it very complicated, but she is managing. She even managed to make a mirage of herself that the lady stabbed, but it was not her. And now she's like, surrender, I figured it out. It was a good fun fight to watch. I wonder if they make the live action out, it will look like it. It seems fun. Now it's chapter 192, Tornado Warning. I think it's really cool that everyone gets their own moment to shine and their own fights. I feel like that's cool. Every character gets like their own thing. Either way, in the beginning of this chapter, we first have Mr. Crocodile, you know, entering the palace, or like he's already there, not entering, but he's already there. And it's like, haha, blah, 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 blah. And then he asks about a thing from the king that everyone seems shocked that he knows about, which was called, where was it again? Pluton. And I was like, wow, how do you know about that? So we don't really know yet, but the king is like strung up by some knives. It's dramatic there. And Nami has a fight. She's really cool. She has a plan. She makes the lady like being, I was gonna say, hit by lightning and thunder, lightning, tornado. I don't know. She's kind of owning that fight, which I'm really proud of. And obviously, I knew she got this. And now we have chapter 193, Utopia. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the king tells Mr. Crocodile he doesn't know where the Pluton is. The Pluton is apparently a super good weapon that can like destroy a whole island or something. But he says that if you don't show me, a whole cannonball is now like gonna shoot down this palace and kill all the rebels. But I feel like they want to stop that because then everything and they will die in 20 minutes or something. I don't actually know. And then the king says that he will show him like the history records. Where is the poneglyph recorded? And he will show him. So we should see how that goes. We switch over to Zoro and the dude he's fighting who's made out of steel. And he can't cut him because he's made out of steel. He says, I can defeat you because I can't cut through steel yet. And then he's like, but too bad. When I have defeated you, that means I can cut through steel. So he's just gonna, I was gonna say, pound through him. We should see if that happens. Chapter 194 is called Cutting Steel. So maybe he will manage. I mean, it is Zoro, so what else do we expect? Okay, so we have him trying to cut on him. It's not really working well. He has a flashback to thinking about his sense and telling him that Schwartzman can't cut through everything. So he didn't listen. And now he's still trying. That's basically what we're doing. Little cute flashback. Now we have chapter 195, Mr. Bushido, which I think is the last chapter. I love him. I love Thor so much. I love him so much. Okay, so he gets owned first. He gets cut up 2 ribbons in the front, like in the front of his chest. Again, he's probably a lot of scars there now. And then a lot of stones fall on him. And then he's like, why are you not dead? How did you not get hit by the stone? Did you like, I was gonna say dodge? And he's like, no, I just knew where it wouldn't fall. And then he says he can hear the stone moving, breathing. And then he realizes he can hear the steel of the dude. So then he's like, comes over and cuts him. In the end, I don't know if I'm supposed to show you that. And he's like, my thanks. Now I'm stronger. Because he realized how he could cut through steel. My child. My child! And now the whole thing is over. Okay, it was really fun to see some, I was going to say, development in this arc. I feel like it's obviously amazing and fun, but I just want to see like the final battle for it because we've been building for it for so long. And I'm very excited to see the conclusion of it. I love all the characters. I love how they still getting, like, they develop in every arc, you know? And we had the Luffy and, like, Mr. Crocodile fight very early on, where Luffy, you know, lost. I mean, he did lose. And now we would get, like, I guess a rematch, I assume, where, like, we've seen he learn and he will develop as well. I feel like he will also develop his powers, because we've seen he use this attack against other people where he's gone really well. And now I wonder, like, if he will also develop his powers in a way that so he can defeat and hit things made of sand that, you know, evaporate. I wonder if that will happen. And I just love all these characters so much. They have all my heart. I just love seeing the different fights and, like, seeing how they develop. Like, Usopp was scared, but, like, he went back and he defeated them in the end, etc. Nami developing her fight skills and get this ridiculous weapon. Everyone, you know, they have my whole heart, and I'm so excited to see. Is the next volume the last one in BAROQUE works? I mean, I think it is, but it might also be a really long fight. Who knows? That's why there's 1,000 chapters. That I also kind of love it, because I know I have a lot, and that comforts me. It comforts me that I have a long time with these characters and not, like, very few volumes. But yeah, I love them all so dearly, and I am having a great time. I will hopefully read the next one in January now. Hopefully. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all your support going on this journey with me. Leave a bird emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because the birds were honestly the MVP in this. And you should see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.